pure. It is either acidic or what? Basic. So the calculation is very, very important. So now, what makes a solution? I hope you are familiar with this. It is called pH meter. If you go in any standard lab, you will see something like this. It will be in form of a meter. And there will be color for 1, color for 2, color for 3. As the color will be fading until it becomes what? Yeah? What is the color here? If you are using litmus. Eh? Blue, okay? This one is what? Red. So which means if anything is from 0.1, it is very, very what? Red. So the pH meter now, if you see anywhere where they place it, the color will be fading from red. The red will become lighter, pale. From pale, it goes to what? Sorry, here is pale. Do you understand me? Here is what? When I know, do you know what is pale color? Yeah? Pale color. Right. Okay. I think this is pale. You know what I mean? This is what? Pale. Pale is something like faded towards ash. Like those people with color blindness. Is there anybody that is color blind here? Yeah? Any color blind? Those color blind people, they will see pale colors. We might be seeing red, green, but they will see what? Pale. Almost colorless. So until you get what? Blue. This is pH meter. But without color, we now use numbers until you get to what? 14. Now the problem is this. If I'm having a solution, at which number will I place that solution? Is it number 3? Is it number 4? Is it number 13? Or 14? In that case, someone invented a way of calculating it and get a number. And that number now depends on the concentration of two things. Either you are dealing with concentration of this one, or you are dealing with concentration of what? This one. Do you understand it? So concentration of two species determines if you are this side or what? This side. And these are the two. Hydrogen ion and what? Hydroxyl ion. And the person went further to tell us that in any solution, whenever you multiply the concentration of this and this, it will always give you what? A constant. Even if you don't understand, you can cram it. You know what I mean? Like I used to tell people, you mustn't understand everything. If you want to understand everything, you write your JAMB in 10 years' time. So at times, you cram. Pass the exam first. Later you understand. So now, let us not go into how they derive this. No. But we know one thing. It is true. This thing is true. It has been proven. So why do we suffer ourselves trying to understand the mystery? Let's just take it that when you multiply the concentration of this and this, in any solution, it will always give you what? This value. And these are in mole. You know what is unit of concentration? Okay? Molar concentration or mass what? Concentration. So this is mole. Which means we are dealing with Ca and what? Cb. I hope you understand this now. And this concentration is never in gram, but it's always what? In mole. This is extension of titration, because in titration, remember what I told you, that in titration, you are going to get only one thing directly, and that is either this or what? This. Every other question will be derived from these two things. So the question can be, having calculated this thing, what is the pH? So once I know this, I can calculate the pH from a formula we are going to get, though we have given one of them now. Okay? Still on introduction. Wow. This calculation now, two forms goes here. They can ask you to calculate the concentration of hydrogen ion on hydroxyl ion. Now, they can also ask you to calculate the pH. You know, they're not the same thing. Do you understand me now? They're not what? They're not the same. Concentration of hydrogen ion is not the same thing as what? pH. Which means we have two formulas. Once you hear concentration of hydrogen ion, think of this formula. Then once you hear pH, then you think of this one. Okay? Once you hear pOH, final. The last formula you are going to cram is pH plus what? Is equals to what? 14. Thank you. If you cram number 1, 2, 3, and 4, we are good to go. You cram again. You know what makes you a science student is the ability to memorize. If you don't know, the difference between you and that art student that is sleeping while reading is that you can memorize. You know what I mean by memorizing? Yeah? Which you can colloquially refer as cramming. You have the ability to memorize a volume of information within a short time and retain it for maybe a meaningful period of time. It can delete. You know it can delete. Unless you renew it. Because we have two types of memory. We have short memory and what? Yes. As you are reading now, everything you are reading, you are committing it to short-term what? Memory. Before it will go into long-term memory, you revisit it again, discuss it. If possible, do what? Apply it. But if you just read it once, yes, you can pass the exam. But after the exam, how will you go among future if you are good? But you won't have it 100%. That's what I mean. Okay. So short-term memory for now. You remember that we teach more with examples. Do you understand me? Because exam may look now, whether you like it or not. So we learn by example. So what I mean is that you help us to be sourcing for questions. You know what I mean? With your jam pass questions. So that we'll be mastering those questions. That's what I mean. Okay, back to business. Remember, we are saying solutions can either be acidic or basic. But at least, if you see a solution, you should be able to say, even without any calculation, tell yourself that this is acidic solution, this is basic what? Solution. Not by mere looking at it. You cannot look at a solution and tell me what it is. No, you're not a magician. You must do one or two things. I'm trying to revisit maybe what we did the other time. Maybe we have indicators of where? What are the three main indicators we have? Guinea? Thank you very much. Yes. You know, you can have litmus solution. You know how litmus solution? Yeah? But normally they now maybe put it in a dry paper form. But before that litmus will work, it must be in what? Solution. That's why we always say moist what? Litmus paper. If it is dry, it cannot work. Do you understand me now? So that you wouldn't get a negative value unnecessarily. Which means if you want to test a gas, you must first of all dip that litmus in what? Water. Where? Neutral again, water. And where do we get neutral water? Distilled again, water. Dip it, it becomes moist. Then you expose it to the what? Gas. Now let me ask you, if the gas turns blue, can you tell me the gas? Yeah? We have done it here now. I told you that we have only one gas. Ammonia. Thank you very much. You suspect ammonia immediately. Any gas that gives you turns moist litmus paper blue, what will you suspect? Ammonia. Immediately. Don't waste time. Then how would you confirm it? I don't even need confirmation. I bet you know that in chemistry, always what? Confirm. How would you confirm it? Don't worry, we'll do this in qualitative what? Analysis. We are still doing quantitative analysis. Okay. Now, we know litmus, red in acid, blue in what? Basic. Okay? What of methyl orange? What of methyl orange? What in acid? What in acid? Yeah? Or pink agwagi? Yeah, we have metago since. Okay, what in base? Hi. Nah. You see what I mean about long-term memory and short-term memory? That time we did it, most of you just stored it in a short-term word memory. Now, your memory is now failing you. Okay, if you go home, go and commit it in long-term memory. Commit phenolphthalein, methyl orange, litmus paper in long-term word memory. Know the one we use in strong, weak and what? Strong. We have done it. Let me not go back because that one is a qualitative word analysis. I will only come back to it when we start what? Qualitative analysis. Okay. Now, but what I'm trying to say here is that in a equation, always know that, just know, we identify acids only when the cation is what? Hydrogen, okay? We identify base only when the what? Anion is what? OH, okay? Except if you are dealing with something like sodium what? Triazo what? Carbonate. But I will still explain this during qualitative analysis. But let me just tell you what I mean here. Maybe it's not just writing. Which of these is basic? Huh? Okay. You don't even need to question that. Ammonia is basic, okay? Whether it is hydroxide form or not. Ammonia is what? Basic. Which of them is neutral? Huh? Why? Why? I will answer this wife. Now, which of them is acidic? One, okay? Why? Well, look at it. This one is not an acid because it doesn't have ionizable hydrogen. It doesn't have what? The hydrogen is not free. It is strongly covalently what? Bonded to this carbon. If you put it in water, it cannot ionize. It will not even mix with water. Remember I told you that acid is only acid when it's in what? Water, where? Because it's in water, it will ionize to give you the what? Hydrogen that you want to do what? Calculate. Then if you cannot produce that hydrogen you want to calculate, we cannot calculate you, and it cannot give us any value here. In fact, you are not an acid. You can only be an acid if you can produce what? Hydrogen ion. We call it proton. But this person cannot ionize. Therefore, it is not an acid. This person can ionize, okay? But if it's ionized, what will he give us? OH, okay? Do you understand this now? This person can also what? Ionize. But in the ionization, these people are not free. Do you understand me now? The only one that is free is what? This one. So because of this ionizable hydrogen, this is called what? An acid. This is called what? An acid. Though a weak what? Acid. Now, that ionizable hydrogen or replaceable hydrogen, we use a number called proton number. Proton what? Number. But I think that one is in qualitative analysis. But I just want to tell you that it's not all solution with hydrogen we produce hydrogen what? Ion. That's what I mean here. So we know all of them that can produce hydrogen ion. The only problem we have is this. But most of them that start with hydrogen, okay, used to be what? Acid. But this one doesn't start with hydrogen, it ends with what? Hydrogen. So which means you have to start this chemical. You must know this chemical. It's an important exam point. You must know that this is ethanoic what? Acid. You must know it. Just cram it. You don't need to read. And it has one ionizable what? Hydrogen. Okay. That's it. Now, in our calculation, let me just summarize it and we use examples now. First of all, whenever you are given a question, you can only work with the concentration. So here, there is no much calculation here because you have done the first calculation, which is before they ask you a question here, they must have done the first what? Calculation and come up with what? This. Do you understand it now? So you are only dealing with this or this. That's why this one is second stage of titration. We have done titration, we have done the calculation, we now want to move it further by using this and what? This. So which means in any question they ask you, what are you looking for? Do you understand me now? Once you get the concentration, you now move down to this formula. If the concentration you are getting is CB, use this one, okay? If you are getting in CA, use what? This one. That's all. That's all. Now, I will only be treating the exceptions in it. Then, exception number 1 in that calculation. I hope you are following me. Eh? This is a continuation. And where am I continuing? I'm continuing from titration. Even last year, can I be there? Yesterday, I rehearsed it very well, titration. Now, I'm not taking it further. And we find ourselves here. And here, we are making use of what? Concentration in mole. Do you understand me? Concentration in what? In mole. Like this question now, Adrian, okay? Do you see this is mole up here? So, we are in order. Molar concentration now. And here we have Ca and what? C earlier. Why is it Ca? It's an acid earlier. It's an acid. This is hydrogen. This is what? Hydrogen. Now, I hope I can clean. Just monitor how we solve this number one. What is the word? pH. I mean 1A of 0.1 mole of this particular solution. Now, which means our H is equal to what? 0.1. Oh yeah? Very simple. But there is a formula. Since we are asked to get pH, it's simple. It doesn't need much problem. This is the formula you are using. Substitute. And what am I substituting? 0.1. API calculator. Okay? If you want to use calculator. But there is no need for calculator here. You know why? Yeah? You know, this is anti-log, okay? Is it not anti-log? If I remove minus, it's no longer what? Anti-log. So anti-log of anything is just the index. It's just the what? Index. That if you know mathematics very well. Logarithm is a way. Mathematically, they invented logarithm to deal with large number. Because there are some values now. You start getting 0.000000005. How can you represent it? They now invented what? Logarithm. And anti-what? Logarithm. Whereby I will just count number of zeros and say this is the what? Anti-log. You want to get now? Let us not just dwell on this thing. What I'm trying to say is this. This is something as 10 power minus 1. Oh yeah? This is the index. So what is the anti-log of this? 1. You want to hear? If I have something like, the anti-log of this is what? 1. If I have 0.01, what would I have? What is the anti-log? 2. You want to hear? If I have 0.001, what do I have? What is the anti-log? 3. So what is the anti-log of this? What is value of this? 1. Do you understand me? I'm coming. I'm all stage by stage. Hey, copycat. But we copy every. This is there. Just know that 0.00. You are counting the word zeros. Simple. So in that we are done with this Okuma. We are done. But before I use this thing to project another question, let us look at number B. Because number B is the one you are likely to see in the exam. Remember that we are talking of ionization, okay? Yeah? Look at what happened here. Remember, we calculated, this is all about hydrochloric what? Acid, okay? Now, in We have not done equilibrium, sure. But let us try to use our residual knowledge. Who have residual knowledge? Eh? I'm going to go SS1, SS2. You have residual what? Knowledge. When you have to go and keep the bloom mad, you can eat it here. Or less one a boss mad. Or on our brain, it gives you a Are you familiar with this? Organic. Are you familiar with this? Do you know that this thing is reversible? But because this is a strong acid, we put short arrow here, okay? Okay? Because this reaction is favored. Okay? This reaction is what? It's hardly come back here. That's why we call this one a strong what? Acid. It's completely what? Ionized. Okay. Do you know what it means? Do you know what we are trying to do here? This is 1 mole, okay? This is 1 mole, okay? This is what? 1 mole. Please pay attention. Confusion, it must come. But if you're not paying attention, it is no longer simple. Now, let me tell you the fact. It is no longer simple. So pay attention. Understand what I mean here? In fact, this question now involves balancing of chemical what? Equation. That is the fact. So here, this is when you dissolve hydrochloric acid in water, it will ionize, okay? Or it will decompose, giving you 2 things, hydrogen and what? Chloride ion. But 1 mole of hydrochloric acid will ionize to give you 1 mole of what? And 1 mole of what? Chloride ion. That's why if we are given 0.1 mole of hydrochloric acid, what amount of proton are we going to get? If you like it, eh? This one will also be what? 21. That is. In this time, stoichiometry, okay? We did it here. We did balancing of. We did stoichiometry simply means getting quantity from a balanced what? Equation. So once you balance the equation, you can get the quantity of the reactant or what? Product. So here, before something can give us an acid, it must ionize, okay? Now, that ionization is still a chemical reaction. And in any chemical reaction, we have to balance the equation, okay, to know what is going on. Now, we have hydrochloric acid. When it ionizes in water, it produces 2 products, okay? Hydrogen and what? Chloride ion. But 1 mole of this gives 1 mole of this and what? 1 mole of this. So which means if you give me 0.1 mole of hydrochloric acid, how many mole of hydrogen ion am I going to get? 0.1. Now, let me contradict. Okay, not contradiction. Let me do this one. You understand it in this one now. Here, we have. Okay. How many mole? How many mole of acid do we have here? 1, okay? Mole, if you say mole, we are looking at the coefficients, okay, of the participating species. What coefficient is here? 1. Yeah, after balancing, the coefficient of each participant is what? Mole. Like here now, when you put this in water, it will ionize. When it ionizes, is it balanced? Yeah? It's not balanced, Abi? Is it balanced? Yes, it's balanced. Imagine what I am. If Ifele me ekwensu oni aken. Okay. Of course, you know. I don't have to go back, Sha, but you know that in balancing the equation, we have to maintain the molecular nature of any particle. Like any particle exists in a particular form as a mole, okay? As a molecule. Like in this world, there is nothing like this. Do we have something like this? Yeah? So, this is molecule of what? Hydrogen. You cannot take because you want to increase the number of hydrogen in the equation, you add 3 here. No. Hydrogen ion always exists like this. You can never see it this way. It's not possible. So, hydrogen ion is always in this form. If you have more than 2, you put 2 here, okay? If you have 3, put what? 3 here. Unlike atom of what? Hydrogen. Atom of hydrogen, once is 2 atoms. If you get there, if it's 3 atoms, will you put 3 here? No. 1 molecule of hydrogen exists this way. I'm trying to justify why I didn't add this 2 here. Okay? The 2 is here. I know most of you don't understand what I'm saying here. You know the reason? You know the reason? You didn't start with us. You are a latecomer. Who need to pay extra money? Okay, let me assume that you understand what I did here. So this equation is balanced, okay? It means that 1 mole of this will give us how many mole of this? 2, okay? How many? We don't need this, Abby. So from this equation, if I have 0.1 mole of this, how many mole of hydrogen will I have? 0.2. Thank you very much. You forget now. So it is wrong if I ask you, calculate the pH of 0.1 mole of tetraosulfate 6 acid, and you get 1. Is it correct? No. Because I can easily say, okay, I have 0.1 mole, therefore pH is equal to negative logarithm 0.1, I will get equals to 1. Is it correct? No. Because 0.1 mole of this will give us 0.1 mole of what? Hydrogen ion, okay? But 0.1 mole of this one will give us what? 0.2. Because from the balance equation, once we dissolve this thing in water, it will ionize, okay? And supply it with what? Hydrogen ion. But the rate of supply is not the same. This one will supply 2 times itself, okay? What one will supply what? I hope you understand. So for me to calculate B, what should I put here? 0.2. Even when I have 0.1 here. That's what I mean. So can you give me the answer? You brought 2, okay? I mean, for this one, we don't put what? Okay? Which will give us 2 times 10 raised to the power minus 1. But you don't need you need, it depends on your level after all, okay? But then when you get maybe feel by her. Okay, Emily last year with the other class, you draw a table. About last year, is it last year or last 2 years? I don't even know. Find the logarithm of all of this and put it here. When I tell you, yeah? You don't understand me. What is log 1? Yeah? What is log 2? Yeah? Don't worry, you appreciate what I'm saying. Let's take it state by state. But what I'm trying to say is just be pressing logarithm of all these things. Be placing it here. Eh? Later you understand what I mean. Okay. But you understood why this one is 0.2. Yes. What are you? What are you? Manino nazo. You know nazo no. Don't worry, I will solve several of them. You understand it then. I will solve many of them. In this case now, let me tell you, we have done 50% of calculation of pH. I'm just trying to do justice to maybe people that want to score 300 and because normal question, you will not see 2. They always limit it to 0.01, 0.001. You don't understand me? Because they know there is no time and you're not using what? Calculator. But in case, maybe there is a situation whereby you need to tell somebody something like that. Let's clear something then. You see, that is without calculator. But with calculator, just press it one way. You know what to press here? Okay? Second function. You press what? Log. Then you press your what? 0.2. That is anti-log. Second function is what? Shift, okay? Okay, then please say. Go to calculator ever. You want PR minus. Don't press second function now, okay? Press minus. Not that minus, you know. That tiny minus. If you press the other minus, you're not going to get anything, you know. So the minus you are pressing is that small one, that functional minus. Do you understand me now? Have you pressed it? I'm going to press the log. I'm going to press can you press? You don't need brackets. Just press 0 points. If you want just any of this, you get your answer. You get the answer. That's what I mean, okay? So don't press second function now. Sorry. There is a way we'll still get to that. But this one, just press that functional tiny minus. Press your log reading. Natural log. Okay? Then whatever. So, but in case maybe you are not to use calculator, you should know that from your indices, fundamental mathematics. If I have log A times B, is it not the same thing as log A plus log B? Is it not the same? Because here, I have minus log 2 times 10 to the power. Is it not what I have? This is what I have. You know, 0.2 is something as what? 2 times 10 to the power minus 1. Please, this is not a must to know. This is not what? A must to know. If you don't understand, don't worry yourself. But if you understand it, thank God. Okay? So if you understand why I say that minus this is the same thing as this, it's also true that this is equals to minus log 2 plus what? You know, I should use this minus again. Okay, don't worry. Minus log 2 plus what? Log any. You know they are the same. Are they not? Yeah. So, which means I'll get log 2 and get what? Log this one. All there. Now, do you understand why I told you to know these things? Huh? It's easy. Just press your calculator. Memorize the value of all this things. So that at this point, you put what? Log 2. Okay, what is log 1? What is log 2? 0. What? What is log 3? What is log 4? Log 5? Eh? What is log 6? What of this one? Eh? Eh? Okay, this one is what? What of this one? This one? Yeah? What how come you now come here? I used to know this. You know what I mean? Yes. I don't want to suffer myself now. It's not necessary. But I know that in exam condition, I will recall it. I'm not in exam condition, so don't need. I can list some of them because we used to say 7, 8. I always remember 7 and 8 because 0.8, 0.9 and so on. But there's no need for me. If I want to go into her, I know what to memorize. So you can memorize this thing now. So how would you apply it here? So what do you do here now? What is the value of this? 0.3 up here. What is the value of this? Yes, 1. Okay? So what is your answer? Huh? What is your answer? What is log 10 power minus 1? Okay? Everybody kind of me. Remember, when I told you, this one is 1. Do you understand me? But only this one is what? Minus 1. Do you understand it now? Please don't get confused. If you press log 10 power minus 1, your answer is the index, okay? So log 10 power minus 1 is what? Minus 1, okay? But minus log 10 power minus 1 is what? Because minus times minus, plus. I know when they are what I believe in. I was when I had to confused. This is just more of mathematics. I said that log 10 power minus 1 is equal to what? Minus 1. Log 10 power minus is what? Minus 2. Do you understand me now? But if I have minus log 10 power minus 1, what will it be? 1, because you already have minus up here. That is minus times what? Minus 1. It gives you 1. That's what you mean. So, if I put minus here, what would be my answer here? Plus. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, well, let's come back here. Log 10 power minus 1 is what? Is it not minus 1? Log 2 is what? When you open the bracket, what we have? Minus 0.3 plus 1, okay? What is your answer? Eh? I don't know if you understand me. Also, you know. Eh? Hey, Jesus. Are you serious? Oh yeah, just press this. Minus log 0.2 is what? Eh? In your calculator. That is 0.7 earlier. So if you press this in calculator, it give you what? 0.699, okay? It's 0.7. Now, this is with calculator, okay? What if you don't have calculator? That is the problem here. If you don't have calculator, you may say this thing. That means if you don't have calculator, please, in fact, don't even, if you are not going to have calculator. So, cram this. Okay? Just know that log 1, log 2. It's very simple. Oh. Yes, it's very simple. The only problem we have here is this and this, okay? Eh? Others are a number. So that at a point where I ask you log, okay, find something like this with our calculator. You tell me, okay, I have two things here, okay? 0 and 2 earlier. You separate them, isn't it? In the exam hall, you don't need to be doing all this thing, no? If you are in JAM. Once you see 0.2, you know that you have two things. The 0 and the what? Number. The 0 is 1. We count it as what? 1. Then you have to look for the what? Number. But don't master it suddenly like that. It is through practice you're going to master them. So what is that practice? When you have, normally if there is 1 here, no problem, okay? But what if you don't have 1? We have number like 2, 3, 4. That is only when you are going to use that thing, okay? What does that mean? Okay, here, which means you have a number that is not 1. You separate. How are you separating? I separate 2 from what? 0. Okay? From indices, I have 2 numbers, okay? I have log 2 and what? Log this one. Then log 2 gives me this, okay? Log minus 1, log 10 power minus 1 gives me this, okay? I open my bracket because already there is minus in the formula. Okay. If you don't understand it, please solve this one. Solve it. Even if you fail it, no problem. If you get it, thank God. Can you? Can you? Okay, don't worry. As a beginner, this is number 2. Solve number. This is number 1. Solve number 2 first. As a beginner, 0.01. Solve this one. Solve number 1 before what? Number 2. Okay. Solve number 1 before number 2. Try, just try. If you fail it, no problem. It's not your fault yet. You know it's 1 minute. 1 minute, okay, solve here. 30 seconds. 40 seconds. For an answer, good. Are you through with number 1? Yeah? You don't even need to solve number 1. You just look at it and tell me the answer. That's what I mean. Yeah? 2. You don't need to solve it. All this thing is for teaching purposes, so for teaching purposes. That's why this exam, if you are preparing for this exam, it is in 3 stages. Stage 1, read with syllabus, read your textbook. That is stage 1. Stage 2, read your what? past question. Stage 3, master it. Look for shortcuts. Can I do this without touching my calculator? That's how we make it. So here now, just look at this. Answer 2. Now you can only touch calculator here. Oh yeah? If you are not yet smart, wow. But if you are that kind smart, you don't need calculator. This one is 1. This one is what? This one is minus 1, okay? Minus 1. Excuse. Hello? Hello? Please, call me later. I'm busy, okay? Okay. You know why? Okay. Have you done this one? Yes. What's your answer? Okay. Okay. What is your answer? You know, the answer is for you, just for practice. Do you understand me now? You try to get it. Just try to practice something. As you are practicing it, it's becoming part of you. Okay. You know why? I will just look at this and say this is my answer. If you have to solve number 1, of course, our formula is this. Okay? Small, so this is our formula. You substitute. I say, what is pH? You now tell me that pH is equal. Remember, the first step is to put it in a standard word form. You must put it in a standard form. Yes. Maybe if somebody is writing WAEC, they will be looking at your process, not just your answer. Because in WAEC, your answer is just 1 mark, okay? Yeah. Just 1 mark. The main mark is your what? Process. In fact, someone might just follow the due process and the answer is wrong. You will get maybe 9/10, depending on the type of the question. And somebody might get the answer correct and get 1/10. Okay. And I have minus log. In standard form, what is the standard form? Okay. Yeah? Simple. And log 10 power minus 2 is what? Eh? 2. Minus 2. You got to get now. If you press your calculator, you don't need calculator. Tell yourself, yes, log is the power. Log is the what? Power. If I have 10 power 5, what is my log? 5. If I have 10 power minus 5, what is my log? Minus 5. So this log of this is this. So what is my answer here? Minus times minus, okay? It's very simple. They're saying, okay, what are they even doing? Number of 0 is the answer. Oh, yeah. Number of 0 is the what? The answer. I don't need to press my calculator. I can only involve my calculator if there is other numbers that are not what? 0. In this case, we are not counting 1 up, yeah? If you have 0.02, 0.03, you now invite your what? Calculator. So in this case, if I say 0.0001, this. So what is your answer now? What is the pH? 4, yeah? What if I have... Don't worry. I want to say, what if I have this? Okay? You need calculator now. I hope you know. I hope you know. Why? Yes. Because this thing, when it ionizes, it will give you hydrogen ion that is 2 times itself. Okay? But it's state by state, so don't go here now before you see the confuse. We are done with number 1. What of number 2? Number 2, same thing. Our pH is equals to minus log 0.4, yeah? Which is equals to minus log 4. You split it up, yeah? Because this is something at 0.1 times 4. I hope you know. It's same thing. Okay, let me put it that way. And I have 0.1 times what? 4. Abi? Or in standard form. Remember we say you put in standard form. Okay? Yeah? Standard form is 4 times what? Minus 1. But in that standard form, you're not having 2 things instead of 1 thing. Okay? Yeah? From that, you invoke the spirit of law of logarithm. Abi? And what is he saying? Law of logarithm say again. Log A times B is equal to what? Log A plus what? Log B. Is it not true? Because here, we have 1 log, okay? We have A times what? B, isn't it? Yes. That will give you our minus no low. We are Abi minus log 4 plus what? What again? It's in the same spirit of this thing there, Ben. But remember what I told you. We don't need this thing, so. If you are preparing for JAM. But if you are preparing for WAEC, you need it. In case. In fact, even if I am preparing for WAEC, I might not give them this. I will just, from here, I will jump to the answer. Credit, okay? Instead of A1. What is log 4? What is log this one? Minus 1, thank you. When you open the bracket, what do you have? Minus 0.6 plus what? 1. Finally, you have what? 0.4. That is the pH. Very strong acid. Very what? Strong acid. As strong as the one that is in your stomach. If you know you failed this one, don't fail this one I'm going to ask you now. Unless you are not serious. I should clean up. What's your answer? Now, you give me answer number 1. Do you know to calculate it? You don't need to calculate number 1. 2. That is our aim here. Just 2. Don't use your pen. No time. So the real question here is number 2. Okay? But number 1 is, what is how many ionizable hydrogen do we have here? 1. Okay? So this is the number of hydrogen, okay? How many ionizable hydrogen do you have here? So it's not going to be equal, okay? You balance the equation, or you don't even need to balance the equation. It's for protocol. You move on. But if you are preparing for WAEC, you must balance the word equation. Unless you are looking for CECs. So, by yourself, solve. Give yourself the answer now. If you like, you give us. Are you solving? Eh? But some of you don't even know the power of practicing this thing. Practice makes perfect. Practice have okay when you clipboard though. You solve one and you die, no problem. 1.7. 1 point. Yeah. Is she correct? Is it 1 point again? 69. Hey. But in some field, that value is very, very big. Akuma. Because you are dealing with acid. It's very, very big. If maybe somebody is having your body fluid acidity is, maybe, what is normal acidity of the blood? What is normal pH of the blood? Eh? What is the normal pH of the blood? Hey, that's another 5. That's another 5 for. Then I here. I will try as much as I could not to digress. There is no time. Because of that H2, of course, when it ionizes, it gives you what? Abi? Yes. So which means 1 mole of this will give you what? 2 mole of this. 0.01 mole of this will give you what? 0.02 mole of this. Figure now. That means anything we have here is times what? 2. That's what it means here. So we are not going to make use of it. We're going to make use of this one. Because when this thing ionizes in solution, it will double the what? It's supplying more hydrogen in a ion. Supplying more of it. So here, minus, sorry. Do I need to look at the calculation? If I don't, I just go here. So okay, this is 0.2 up here. I'm through. Once I know that this one is 0.2 up here, this one is what? How many zeros? 2 up here. So what do I do? 2 minus 0.2 up here. Am I correct? 0.3. In fact, let us know here. Up here. In standard form, you break it following that rule. That looks again. We have only one log here, okay? We distribute. It's called law of distribution. For any further mathematics, you distribute it because this logarithm is distributed among those things inside the word bracket. So if I open the bracket, what do? Log 2 up here. plus what? My minus is still there. So what is log 2? What is log this one? Minus 2. Then when I open the bracket, I have minus 0.3 minus plus minus times minus plus 2. And that will give me, okay, 1.7. That means you are right. But what if you press it direct? Will it give you the same thing? Yes. What again? 1.69. Why no wunu now? No. Because I know that log 2 is what? Is it only 0.3? If that 0.1 is what is giving you that, do you understand me now? So it's not exactly 3. Because if okay, well, don't worry. 0. What? 301, okay? 0.301 minus 2. Sorry. Okay, is it not the same thing? So, but for simplicity, we choose to, so that you can memorize it easily, okay? Because 6, 9, and 7, they are the same thing. pH. You know, I don't want to jump into pOH. Maybe next time we do pOH, okay? Then we combine them. Now let's revert this thing now. You see, we are moving in one-way traffic. You know, we are in one-way traffic, okay? Can you go there and azu small? Can you azu? Because the question can come in different forms. Like, should I clean? Yeah? I might ask you, what is amount of hydrogen ion in a solution of pH of 3? One other question now. Eh? You see, no. We are reverting that thing now. We just want to revert it. That is reverse kind of get that. Let me tell you how it's very simple. You move from concentration to pH, okay? Now you are not intending to move from pH to what? Concentration. That is it. Oh, not again now. Eh? You move from what? Concentration to what? pH. Like, this is concentration in mole, Abi? Eh? And finally, what is the pH here? 2. Okay? No. Whatever. So we are now going back. You have to understand what I mean before we solve, otherwise there will be confusion. Okay, let me, assuming that I have calculate this in fair before I assume what I have. 0. What? Very simple. 0. What? 001. Because that time you were calculating pH, I told you if I have 0.001 mole of hydrochloric acid. What is the pH? 3 up here? So now, I now hide the solution and give you the what? pH. Okay? And I ask you to give me the what? The amount, okay? Or concentration of hydrogen ion. So, how do you handle such situation? Anti-log, okay? Remember, everything you are doing here is what? Log. Log, okay? But if you go through anti-log, you get your what? Answer. Can you press the anti-log? Okay, pressing cannot see so. You don't calculator. Okay. I foresee. You must put -3 before now. Calculator is not the man. There was -3 there now. Okay, don't worry, I will come to the board. But what I'm trying to tell you that the opposite of logarithm is what? Antilog, okay? But remember that in that antilog we have what? Minus, okay? You're not going to throw away the minus. That's what you mean here. So you're going to press antilog of minus whatever you have, okay? You will refer to the what? Process. Why am I even asking for calculator is that, you are not using this in the hall. So it's not even necessary, per se. Do you understand me? You're not using it unless you are preparing for a. But in exam, once you look at the number, already you know the what? The answer. The only place you are going to have serious problem if there is 1.8, 1.9. Do you understand me now? Do you understand me? Let us not waste our time here. Because the exam we are preparing for, we know how it comes. We know when you are wasting your time. In this case, once you have a whole number like this one, what is the concentration? 0.001. Do you understand me now? If the pH is what? 2. What is the concentration? 0.01. Now, there will be a problem if I ask you if the pH is 2.5. What issue, Kita? What issue? What issue? There is still way of going back. We trace our what? Way back. It's still simple. But I'm not going to teach now. You can get it with your calculator. But we are dealing without what? Calculator. Okay? So, I just introduce this thing to tell you that we are moving in one way again. Traffic. It is step by step. Maybe next time we treat pOH. Then we'll now be dealing with anti-log. That is coming back. But for today, what we just learned today is getting what? pH, okay? And if you are here, you didn't know how to get pH. I don't know if it is my own fault. Is it? But if you did not understand everything I said here, can you raise your head up? You know, when you can. If you are late now, you came late. But just be frank, eh? I want to know. Kiana, yeah. Just, if you know that you don't understand me, when you get that, just be frank to yourself. What do you do? If you want, when you could that, you say, okay, okay. I will just give me like, we have 2 minutes left. I wanted to be entertaining. I should have entertained questions. But I'm not going to get time to go. Let me use that 1 or 2 minutes. Let me recap. You want to go? I said that we have 4 formula here we are going to use. Though we use only 1 today. 1 can use without. But number 1 formula is okay? Memorize it. We didn't use it today. Okay. Number 2 is equals to what? Abi? Finally, pH plus what? pOH is equals to what? 14. Eh? Time may go. Maybe if I come next time, for I will rehearse before we move Guinea forward. But by then, make sure that you have crammed this for formula. It will help us.